I think from day one, their problem is not their policy. The problem is they never tell anybody they have a strategy. They didn't come in and say, look, our plan is there's a collapse in demand. We're going to pass some legislation to try to get some demand back in here. The second thing is we got a crisis in finance. We're going to fix that crisis, but we're going to demand that the people who got us in here put some more skin in the game and then crack down on these banks. And the third thing we're going to do, we're going to address the problem of long-term health care costs. We're going to begin by passing health care reform. It's going to be the first important step. It may take us a while, but we have a plan in place. What they did is they put policies into people. It looked like the answer to every problem was just spend more money. And one thing wasn't connected with another. The Recovery Act, it wasn't connected to TARP, which wasn't connected to financial reform, which wasn't connected. No narrative. They never drove a narrative. It was like, we're smart people, we have smart people around us, and you just trust us what to do. And maybe the public never bought that. And they never drove. When Reagan came in, we've got a plan in place. Clinton would go, he got 3 things we're going to do. And Franklin Roosevelt had fireside chats. He was explaining to people. The other thing, and I think that Joe Stiglitz would agree with this, I'm not sure, they, as Bush would say, misunderestimated the severity of it. All right? They came in, and Larry Summers and Guyton were talking that, you know, and then there's all this new stuff about these financial crises produce much nastier downturns than just a business cycle recession. So they were, understandably, they didn't tell people that we're in a really, really deep hole here.
But, you know, it isn't for lack of trying. Excuse me, Leslie.
Sure.
Because I have a question I want to toss to George. I mean, the president has been out there on the airwaves constantly, it seems, for 2 years. I mean, not only goes on your show and the morning shows and 60 Minutes, he goes on The View. He's going on The Daily Show this week. He does the basketball brackets on ESPN. And I wonder if you think that's too much and it has kind of diluted the impact.
I think it's actually essential in this environment. You have to be out there selling your story. The difference I have with James is you know, the frustration of a former press secretary. I guess, you know, it's always a communications problem.
They make appearances, but they don't drive a narrative on the appearance. So one day they're picking a basketball team, the next day they're reacting to something on Jon Stewart. And so it's not how much you're out there.
Not being focused.
It's what you're saying when you're out there. And they don't say, I agree with most of their policies. They're actually fairly, individually, they're not bad policies. They're not sort of, look, if we went back, I tell people, if we just went back to paying the same tax rate we paid in 1998, and by the way, I don't remember being under siege or living under socialism or Nazism or anything in 1998, would knock $3.7 trillion off the deficit.